Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Shore Lunch 225 here at the All-American ARCA Series. Tonight, we are at the virtual Iowa Speedway. It's going to be 160 laps, 225 kilometers, and a guaranteed good time here at the All-American ARCA Series as drivers make their way out for single-car qualifying. And we're going to get this show on the road. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, I'm James East in the booth, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as we're looking forward to a great night here. We have a whole lot of drivers making their way out, and if practice is anything to go off of, it's going to be a tough time for some of the drivers still trying to figure out this very loose track conditions here today. Right now you're watching Nick Terrell in number 81 machine, the Doritos-backed car, out there charging hard and trying to put down a good couple of qualifyings. We talked to some of the teams before the broadcast started, hanging out in their holler, and some of them are saying, hey, they're faster on lap 1. Some drivers are faster on lap 2, so it's going to be interesting to see what we see in qualifying as Taro clicks off a 24.63 his opening lap, but Zach Rogers is going to put himself on top of provisional pole with a 24.25. So is Terrell, number 81, going to be besting his lap time, and he does not appear that he will. Dylan Breton going out in the number 1 machine. Clicks off a 24.91 his first time by. Christopher Heller moves on top of provisional pole with a 24.03, edging out Zach Rogers by 1/100th of a second. And look at that, Michael Vandermeer, the number 7, puts it on pole so far with a 24.02, but still a lot of drivers. Nope, here comes jumping Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine, clicking off a 23.97. So these guys are putting down some blistering fast lap times here today. Keenan Jones out on track, number 73 machine. The Enabled Net sponsored race machine. Keenan good for a 24.53 their opening lap. As Johnny Eckert still sitting on top of provisional pole with a 23.97. Let's see if Jones, the number 73 machine, can best their 24.53. Jones able to move quite up the ladder, dropping on 24.29, getting much faster as the run goes on. Let's see, we've got Andrew Neri out on track right now, unable to put down. He does, he clicks off a 28. We still have 7 drivers waiting to put down a qualifying time. Let's check out James Silver's number 17 machine to see what he's able to put down. Giving number 17 machine just a little bit of a wiggle, trying to put a little bit more heat in the tires. Silver's going to really have to haul the mail here, number 17 machine, to try and best the 23.97 that currently tops provisional pole. Bruce Pearson also go out and on track in the number 22 machine, a late exit to try and get out there for qualifying. Now we're kind of at the point, if somebody has not left for the racetrack, they're going to be a little bit late. DJ Weeks Jr., he goes out as well, trying to set a last-second qualifying run here. As Silvers, his first lap, or his first time lap, was a 24.16, good enough for 6th place. But let's check out Bruce Pearson and the bright yellow and green machine. See what he's able to put down out there in the number 22 machine. Just about 30 seconds left here in single car qualifying. So we've got Bruce Pearson and DJ Weeks Jr. currently out on track. Pearson with a 24.55 his opening lap. About a half second off of pole here today. DJ Weeks Jr. climbs to 10th on the qualifying board. Let's see what Pearson's last time by was, a 24.46, so improving just a little bit. But that is going to wrap it up here for qualifying, and we're going to get ready to send all of our drivers out on track. Starting up front, it's going to be Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine. Michael Vandermeet starting second. Christopher Heller will be starting third on the grid today. Zach Rogers will be starting fourth. Brandon Barkuski will be starting fifth in the number 25 machine. James Silvers will be starting sixth in his number 17 race car. Andrew McGonigal starting seventh. Keenan Jones will be starting eighth, representing the Australia and New Zealand side of the world here today. Kyle Hall with Spirit of Daytona Racing will be starting ninth in the number 87 machine. DJ Weeks Jr. will be starting 10th. David Westergreen, broadcast extraordinaire, will be starting 11th in the number 93. Casey Carrington, the number 9, the league owner, he'll be starting 12th here today. Alex Penn, the road race phenomenon, he'll be starting 13th. Bruce Pearson with Spirit of Daytona Racing will be starting 14th. Dylan Smock will be starting 15th. John Simpson Jr. starting 16th. Craig Martin, the 00, will be starting 17th on the grid. Devin Scroggins with Alpha Ravioli Yoo-Hoo Racing will be starting 18th. Ryan Perkins will be starting 19th on the grid. Dylan Breton will be starting 20th. Nick Terrell, 21st on the grid. Tyler Evans will be starting 22nd. Larry Noel will be on the 23rd grid spot. Carol Steele starting 24th here today. Then you got Andrew Nary in the 654 machine starting 25th. Shane Gentry starting 26th. Patrick Hernandez will be starting 27th. Derek Cook starting 28th. Then you've got Ahmed the Echo starting 29th to round out a massive field of drivers here today. It's 160 laps, 225 kilometers. What are we going to see? Are we going to see the world-famous All-American ARCA green flag runs? Or is it going to be a little bit of calamity with the slick conditions out there today? We can get all of our drivers formed up, send them around one more time. And then we are going to get the party started. As always, on behalf of All-American ARCA as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much to everybody that tunes in each and every week, supporting your favorite drivers at your favorite series and called all the action by your favorite broadcaster. We could not do it without you guys at home, so we do truly and gratefully appreciate all of you. Your front row is going to be Eckert and Vandermeet. Great to see Vandermeet up here in the front after qualifying. One of those racers that's getting faster and faster here today. Harrington, the previous pilot of the Fan Fuel Motorsports number 85, will not be on track here today. Dealing with some real life stuff. Hopefully that goes all right for the team. And he's cheering on Shane Gentry, the number 26 machine from the stands here at Iowa. Green flag is away. Here we go. Eckert gets a patented launch. Christopher Heller moves up in the number 11 machine. It's going to be interesting to see what line Vandermeet takes here. Because right behind Vandermeet, you've got Zach Rogers, Brandon Barkuski, and really just a whole lot of drivers all vying for that spot. Look at that. Barkuski dives to the inside line. He's going to get around Vandermeet. Around Zach Rogers. That is the battle for fourth on screen right now, but look at the two wide action going up very far back in the field. As your race leader, Johnny Eckert's already got about a 0.6 second advantage over Christopher Heller in the number 11 machine. Michael Vandermeet still running strong in third. Behind him, Zach Rogers, Brandon Barkuski make up our top five. And the yellow flag will come out early here today at Iowa, only making it in 3 laps so far for the first caution. Right as Eckert places the fastest lap of the race with a 24:01. But let's see if we can grab you that replay here. It looks like it may be Larry Noel, number 29 machine. No, it's going to be Tyler Evans, number 15. Gets a good hearty push from the 01 Thiel. Locks it up immediately. Oh, look at the impact. That's Larry Noel in the number 29 machine who made a hard impact. As Tyler Evans, nowhere to go, just gets absolutely destroyed there. So we're going to re-rack him for our first caution here of the night. We're going to try and quickly get these guys formed up so we can send them back out racing. They're going to have a long way to go if this is the pace they're going to be setting. But man, what a spectacular crash to get things started early on here today. As that was quite the hard hit. Trying to get these drivers all formed back up to get them back out there in the action. It's still going to be Eckert and Heller your front row, with Vandermeed, Rogers your second row. Barkuski and Silvers make up your third row. So a few newer names being added to the top 5 here today. Now, Vandermeed and Silvers are both on Cornerstone Motorsports, 2 teammates out there together. So you can expect to see them to work hard to try and catch up to Eckert. All right, they're officially formed up. Well, they're supposed to be formed up, double file. So pace car will come in this time by, going into turn 4 here at Iowa. Pace car is in, waiting for that green flag to fly. As Eckert gets a spectacular launch on the outside line, Heller's still on the inside. Here comes Zach Rogers' number 5 machine trying to make something happen on the outside line, because right behind him you've got Vandermeed and Barkuski. They're going to be driving very, very hard, trying to carry as much speed as possible. But what's going to happen here is Barkuski, he makes a move on the outside line, getting around the inside line, getting around James Silvers, the number 17 machine. Behind Silvers, Kyle Hall, currently running 7th on track. It looks like for the most part the field's going single file and maybe going to try and click off some laps, find their favorite line, and keep some tires underneath them. Out of 29 drivers, we have one that is going to be in the pits for quite a while. It's Patrick Hernandez, number 19 machine. Everybody else still out on track, pushing very, very hard. As here comes Kyle Hall. He's looking to the inside of James Silvers, trying to catch up to the back bumper, the number 25 machine, Brandon Barkuski. Will Kyle Hall be able to drift up the line here? And he looks like that. Yes, he will get clear from James Silvers. On your screen right now, battle for 12th. It's led by Casey Carrington. Behind him, Keenan Jones, Bruce Pearson. Pearson goes to the inside of Keenan. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it stick against the number 73, the Aussie driver. Bruce Pearson is going to be able to get by and form up in front as well. Look at this. Here comes Dylan Smock, number 60 machine, trying to get his nose in the mix as well. So a lot of great racing all across the racetrack. Everybody doing a very good job keeping it clean so far and putting on quite the show. We've got a battle for second place shaking up. It's going to be Christopher Heller fending off Zach Rogers. Rogers is the number 5, the bright yellow number 5. Behind him, Vandermeed. It's going to be interesting to see if these guys are going to keep the tires underneath them and plan for a good green flag run, or if we're going to see it punctuated with cautions. But so far, we're already doing better than the first start of the night, as people are getting a little bit more comfortable with these cars and the looser setups that were provided. This is one of those setups, the longer you stay out there, it'll tighten up for you and then hopefully be a little bit more comfortable for some of these guys to drive. As you're on board with 4th place, Michael Vandermeet in the number 7 machine, trying to catch up to Zach Rogers. That's what about 0.3 seconds of a distance looks like here at Iowa. The 7/8 mile raceway, definitely different than the super speedways and cookie cutters these guys have been used to running in the past, but so far they're doing a great job making it look relatively easy out there. As our top 10 drivers are going to settle into a groove, start clicking off laps. And it's going to be a game of tire management and playing it safe and easy. We're going to take it back to 16th place, Keenan Jones, number 73 machine. He just got passed by Craig Martin, the 00, as well as Dylan Smock in the number 60 machine, trying to find a line that he's comfortable with and get more familiar. But look at that, here comes Dylan Brett in the number 1 machine. He's making moves. He's currently up 4 spots so far here tonight. And I believe that'll make him no. Andrew Nary in the 654, our current hard charger, he's up 6 spots, starting 25th, and he's moved his way up into 19th. Michael Vandermeet still putting the pressure on Zach Rogers for the battle for 3rd. Behind Vandermeet, you got Barkuski, Hall, Silvers, McGronigal. A whole lot of fast drivers that are very good at the long runs when those opportunities are presented to them. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And are we going to see a green flag pit stop strategy here tonight? That would be absolutely huge for these drivers. Able to show what they have both on the track with their driving abilities as well as their prowess in the pits, able to set up strategies on when to come in. As Vandermeet, his last time by at 24:14 compared to Rogers at 24:16. Both of these drivers putting down almost identical lap times here today and making it look great so far. And something to consider as well, if and when we do have green flag pit stops, these drivers are on racing teams. You've got a whole lot of teams out there playing it safe with each other, trying to make something happen. Out front, it's Outlaw Racing in the points chase. Cornerstone Motorsports is in 2nd, 2511 Racing 3rd. You've got Spirit of Daytona Racing 4th. Team Dodge CHT is 5th in points right now. PA Posse is 6th in points. Alpha Ravioli Yoo-Hoo Racing has moved up 1 spot to 7th in points. Team Goon Squad currently 8th in points. Old Geezer Motorsports 9th. Fan Fuel Motorsports in 10th. TNN Racing 11th. And then Team Eclipse Racing is in 12th. So a lot of team battles going on as well. So individual points chases on the line as well as the prestigious team championship. All these drivers out there battling hard, wanting to look good for their teams. Clicking off laps here. We're on lap 23, so they're getting a little bit of good green flag runs. Still a lot of good close racing. You watch Craig Martin, the 00 machine. He's trying to catch up to Dylan Smock, number 60. But keep an eye on Dylan Brett, number 1. He's been pushing very, very hard. Not sure if that's going to be a factor with tire wear later on in the evening. Now, once we hit the 40 lap mark, that will be 1/4 of the way through tonight's main event. But these guys back here are still putting on a show, looking like Dylan Brett in number 1 machine was going to make a move on Craig Martin, while Martin is busy focusing on what's ahead of him, trying to navigate through Dylan's smock. This is the battle for 14th. Oh no! Craig Martin gets spun around by the 1 machine. Drivers absolutely scattering. So we're going to take you on for that instant replay here and see what just happened. So it looked like the 00 of Craig Martin just got a little bit loose and maybe had a moment coming out of turn 2. Brett in the number 1 machine just nowhere to go. Watch that once more from a different angle here. Watch Craig Martin in the 00 machine, goes down live. Looks like he went maybe too far down the apron, had a bit of a moment of a bobble. The number 1 machine of Brett dodged to avoid him, but oh! Who was that got tagged? Was that Andrew Neri in the 654, I wonder? As a large portion of our field will come in here. We're going to try and get a look at Neri's, the front of his car. Not sure if he has damage in the 654 or what may have happened there. Most of your top 10 drivers choosing to stay out. You got about 10 cars that came into pit lane, maybe to get some repairs done or put some fresh tires underneath them, opting to use a set early on here today. Keenan Jones, Casey Carrington, Andrew Neri, Derek Cook, Nick Terrell, Craig Martin, Ryan Perkins, all coming into pit lane. Now we'll bring out the caution for the second time here tonight, and we're going to get the drivers re-racked and back out there. So up front, it's going to be Eckert, Heller, Rogers, Vandermeed, Barkuski, your top 5. James Silvers has slipped back just a little bit into 7th place. But these guys know there's a long night ahead of them. If they can keep the tires underneath them and keep charging like they have, we may see a game that's decided on who takes tires where. They've only got 3 tires at their disposal tonight. So definitely don't want to use them up in your first pit stops if you don't have to. We're going to get them formed up, double file, send them back on their way. Look, the racing was cleaned up just a little bit. Everybody getting a little bit cleaner and more comfortable, I guess is probably the best way to verb it. Pace car is in. All eyes on Jumping Johnny Eckert, number 90. He's on the high line, gets a spectacular launch. Christopher Heller is going to follow in tow in the number 11. Michael Vandermeer, the number 7 machine. He's also in the mix, as well as Zach Rogers in the number 5 machine. Rogers looks for the inside of Vandermeer. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to carry the speed out in the straightaway. That inside line seems pretty good for passing, but he is going to make it stick as Vandermeer yields some position. Now, are we going to see these top 5 competitors pushing around that much, or are everybody's going to kind of take it easy? But no, here comes Barkuski. He's on the inside of Vandermeer trying to make something stick in the number 25 machine. Vandermeer's going to have about a car length going into turn 3 and 4 and kind of closes the door there on Barkuski. Saying, no, sir, not this inside line. And they're going to come out nose to tail out of turn 4. Barkuski once again looking to the inside line. Now, I'm a little surprised. Passing seems to be a bit easier here than I expected. Driver's able to get a bit of a run, slide it into either turn 1 or turn 3 with a bit of momentum, and then edge out their competition. So as it stands, that low line, that kind of swooping line they're taking through the corners seems to be the fast way around the racetrack. Still got great racing all across the racetrack. You're watching Alex Penn, and currently just inside the top 10. He's chasing David Westergreen in the number 93 machine. And behind Alex Penn, you've got Dylan Brett, the number 1, who was involved with that early incident. Getting into the back of the driver. You can't really fault him too much for that. He did his best to avoid it. But it is always hard to predict what your competition is going to do out here on these wild circuits. Casey Carrington, oh my, look at this battle right here. It's Casey Carrington, he gets bumped to the inside apron. You've got Andrew Neri, Ahmed, Andrew McGronigal, as well as Nick Terrell all in the mix here. If we're about to see some carnage and heartbreak, it's going to be here in this 20th spot battle. As everyone's going 2 wide, about 3 rows deep. Shane Gentry's leading this pack, number 26 machine. As Andrew Neri and Theo go side by side. Neri looks like he has a bit of a run on Shane Gentry's number 26 machine, but Theo looks to the inside line. They're going to go 3 wide, going into turn 3. Oh, look at this. It's Andrew McGronigal, Theo, and Casey Carrington all going 3 wide, putting on a show for everybody. Now, as entertaining as this is not the fast way around. But everybody's out here battling hard for position as Andrew Neri gets around Shane Gentry's number 26 machine. Casey Carrington also pushing hard, trying to make some ground up. And they are once again going to go 3 wide as, oh, Neri slides down in front of Shane Gentry's 26 machine. Slows the momentum just a little bit. Gentry tries to get behind Carrington, has the check up a little bit more than he was comfortable with. And they're going to go 3 wide once more. Oh, they make contact. That's Casey Carrington and John Simpson Jr. go door to door. And they are once again 3 wide. How long can we go 3 wide before tragedy strikes here at Iowa? As now Casey Carrington is going to try and make a move on the 654 machine. Andrew Neri behind them. They're 3 wide once more. John Simpson Jr., Shane Gentry, Ahmed, all picking a different lane and absolutely rolling with it as Carrington makes a good move. He's going to get around Dylan Smock on the backstretch. Oh, my heart can't take it. Now it's McGronigal, Neri, and Smock. They go 3 wide. And this is the battle for 15th and 16th on track. This isn't the top 5 duking it out in the last lap. We are 41 laps in and a whole lot of 3 wide action. As Bruce Pearson finding a hole to go through the number 22 machine. He's going to try and drop in behind Casey Carrington, number 9, but here we go again, more 3-wide action. Now it's Pearson, McGronigal, and Neri all going 3-wide. Looks like Neri has the advantage here, trying to run that high line and maybe keep the tires underneath him here tonight. That may be very beneficial to the 654 machine as the run progressed. Now, Neri did come in on lap 26 for what we believe would be fuel and tires. So the 654 may be able to start cutting through traffic, maybe getting past guys that are still on their original sets of tires. So Neri might be valuing track position more than anything here, trying to work his way through for the inevitable caution. As we are a quarter way of the racetrack, it's still Johnny Eckert out front, accompanied by Christopher Heller second. Zach Rogers is third, Brandon Barkuski fourth, Michael Vandermeed fifth. Andrew Neri, the 654 machine, he's our current hard charger on track. He's up 12 positions so far. His last time by at 24.97, about 0.3 of a second faster than Dylan Brett, number 1 machine right in front of him. But he's got to keep an eye out for Andrew McGronigal, who's on the same tire strategy as Neri in the 654. McGronigal looking for a hole through in the number 16 machine. He's going to go to the inside of Neri, diving into turn. I believe that's going to be turn 1 they dive into. Now McGronigal is going to take point. And oh, what's going to happen here is they both have a huge run, a little bit faster than Dylan Brett, number 1 machine. So McGronigal's going to be able to go low, squeeze around Brett, while Neri tries the high line, not able to carry quite as much speed. But again, he may be saving a whole lot of tires on that line. It's very tough to tell. This is the battle for 6th on screen right now. DJ Weeks Jr., number 97 machine, he's pressuring James Silvers in the number 17 machine. Now Silvers has a ton of laps at this track this week, running it with multiple leagues and a whole lot of practice laps. So great to see Silvers out there running 6th place. That's exactly where he qualified. He's just behind his teammate Michael Vandermeed in the number 7 machine. So you may see 2 teammates link up here and start driving together, trying to whittle away at that gap. Because DJ Weeks Jr., he's driving hard at the number 97 machine, trying to make something happen. Casey Carrington making big moves as well. He's back up to 11th place, currently behind Andrew McGronigal. Behind Carrington, you've got road race extraordinaire Alex Penn, Dylan Brett, and Andrew Neri all running in a nice tight pack here together. Dylan Brett getting a whole lot of pressure here in the number 1 machine from the 654, Andrew Neri, as he's also trying to work on Alex Penn simultaneously. But the caution will come out, and I think it may be a big one here at Iowa. Ooh, looks like the number 26 machine may have given a love tap to the 65. And oh, what do we have here? We're going to have to watch that one once more. And ooh, the damage. As the track is almost completely blocked. And the hits just keep coming. Here comes the number 73, Keenan Jones. Wow. That is not ideal. A lot of drivers involved with that one, but we're going to watch that one once more in super slow-mo. I am not quite sure what we just witnessed that caused that initial accident. So number 26 of Shane Gentry gives a hearty bump to John Simpson Jr. as they're taking alternative lines. And let's watch here together, see what exactly causes this. It's hard to tell if Gentry turned into him or if the number 65 of John Simpson Jr. tried to block just a little bit too late. Oh, the 65 I mean, that was the onboard of Shane Gentry. The 65 tried to throw a block and was not able to get clear in time. What was that? Did he run into him? That was the gift that just kept on giving here today. Yeah, 65, it looks like he just kind of drifted up the racetrack trying to throw a block on Gentry and not able to make it stick like he wanted to. And maybe a little bit of words being exchanged among our drivers there. So now as most of the field cycles in and out of pit lane, a lot of drivers pitting on lap 52. You've got some new faces out front. Andrew McGronigle, Casey Carrington, Andrew Neri, Nick Terrell, Ryan Perkins are going to be our top 5 drivers on an older set of tires. Last time they came in on was lap 26 to 28 for all these competitors. Bocek tuning in to cheer on the world-famous Alex Penn, the road race extraordinaire. Alex finds himself in 15th position in the 30 car today, and he did pit that last cycle coming in on lap 52. So right now you got 5 guys out front on substantially older tires. And this could be a little exciting, as behind them a whole lot of fast guys are going to want to try and get up there and do so very, very quickly. On new tires, should be able to carry a much better pace. But for the first time tonight, the front row is going to change. It's going to be Andrew McGronigle, Casey Carrington on the front row, Nick Terrell and Andrew Neri on our second row, and then Ryan Perkins and Johnny Eckert on the third row. Pace car is in, away we go. McGronigle gets a great start. Casey Carrington follows in tow, as well as Andrew Neri. Behind him, you've got Nick Terrell trying to fend off all the drivers coming out on fresh tires. As, oh, look at that massive pack of guys behind him. Oh, that is quite dangerous. It looks like the guys on older tires are trying to opt to the high line, but they're going to go 3 wide once more. These ARCA Menards cars are not happy when you give them any sort of bump drafting. We're going to cycle back up front. It is still Andrew McGronigle with a pretty substantial gap. He's about a half second ahead of second place Casey Carrington. Johnny Eckert dives to the inside line of Andrew Neri, the 654 machine. As man, the difference in tires really showing out here today. As your top 5 that came in around lap 26 to 28 are holding on to it for dear life. The guys with brand new tires are coming out and just pushing very, very hard. Quickly cutting through the field, making something happen. Casey Carrington's moving back to 5th place after starting up front. Andrew McGonigal holding on to 2nd place for dear life in the number 16 machine on that older set of tires. In front of him, he's got Johnny Eckert. Behind him, Christopher Heller, Brandon Barkuski, Michael Vandermeer. A lot of very fast and talented drivers that find themselves with about 26 lap newer tires than their competition. As now they're going to go side by side for 2nd place. Christopher Heller gets a massive run on the high line. Is McGonigal going to be able to hold on to it? He will not. So it's going to be Christopher Heller takes over 2nd place. McGonigal shifts high. Here comes Brandon Barkuski as well, number 25 machine. Trying to dive through the inside line. He's going to make it stick once more as McGonigal finds himself losing ground. Not able to carry the speed or the aggressive lines as these drivers with newer tires. And now Vandermeer, number 7, he wants his nose back to the mix, saying, hey, I want a shot at that podium contention. Vandermeer all over the rear bumper of the number 16 machine. Looks like Vandermeer's going to dive to the inside line as well. We've kind of seen this move all night long as those with a little bit more traction underneath them that can be reserved are able to dive in just a little bit deeper, maybe make it stick and make it happen. We are about 15 laps away from the halfway mark. Up front, it's Johnny Eckert, Heller, Barkuski, Vandermeer, McGonigal making up our top 5. You've got to hand it McGonigal, despite being on the older tires, still out here fighting with the guys, but James Silvers looks for an opening, as well as Zach Rogers trying to pick up a couple of spots. Now again, we talked about earlier, there's a limited set of tires for these competitors, so nobody's going to want to use them up too early. It's going to be a game of track position versus just surviving out there. Now Zach Rogers, number 5 machine, he's going to get another spot back, securing 6th place from Andrew McGonigal in the number 16 machine. As we cycle a little bit further back in the field, here's David Westergreen. He's battling with Casey Carrington while also trying to catch up to Alex Penn in the number 30 machine. So Westergreen, the BP-sponsored race car, the number 93, doing his best to fend off a very fast set of drivers while also battling for contention. I mean, he's got Casey Carrington, Kyle Hall right behind him. Those guys are very, very talented. As Hall and Carrington, they go side by side. Two good friends on and off the track, battling very, very hard. All these guys doing a fantastic job out there, clicking it off, making it look easy. Alex Penn still fending off David Westergreen while trying to catch up to Andrew McGonigal in front. Penn finds himself about 0.3 seconds back from the number 16 machine, but Penn did come in on lap 52. So he's got much fresher tires than the number 30 machine as well. But we are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark here today. they make contact. They hold on to it. That's David Westergreen and Alex Penn going door to door for the 10th place spot. They're going to go side by side once more, but a great save from both of these competitors. Meanwhile, Kyle Hall, number 87 machine, watching these two guys go so aggressive at each other, going, all right, I have an opportunity to possibly get by here, but I could also find myself with a damaged race car if they lose it right in front of me. So it is going to be a game of patience out here today. Negrano getting heavily pressured as Westergreen dives to the inside line. Can he make it stick? Because here comes Alex Penn as well. Kyle Hall, he wants in the mix. Number 16 machine of McGranagle drops to a different line. He's going to return the favor to David Westergreen. But I don't know if he's going to be able to carry as much speed on that low line compared to the guys with just slightly newer tires. McGranagle is about 0.3 of a second off per lap compared to these current drivers. As Alex Penn will get around on the high line, Kyle Hall, number 87 machine, he's going to try and follow along as well. Now, it is not the end of the world for the guys that came in a lap 26 or 28 or so. They will be able to stretch it out longer than the competitors, so if they have a caution, they can have the opportunity to get a lap ahead here. Brandon Barkuski, currently third on track, is watching Christopher Heller, the number 11 machine, about 0.4 seconds that separates these two athletes. And so far, these guys are really clicking off some laps here. Starting to get a little bit of a rhythm and maybe make something happen. We might see a green flag pit stop. Again, the last caution came out about 26 laps ago. Now we're going to take a look at the race leader, Johnny Eckert, out front. He's going to be approaching lap traffic here. That will be the number 65 machine of John Simpson Jr. about to go a lap down. We've got 21 drivers still on the lead lap if you count Simpson, who's about to go down. So overall, as we approach the halfway mark, not too bad of a night. Eckert cutting through traffic, not having any worries or problems back there as Heller and Barkuski also get around. But Barkuski really putting the pressure on Heller right now for that second place spot. He's going to dive the inside line. It looks like Heller's going to yield the position. Now both these drivers came in, really everybody on track right now in the top 10 came in on lap 52 for their pit cycle. As Andrew Neri, the 654 machine, he's going to bring it into pit lane. Last time he pitted was around lap 26. So I mean, slightly less than 60 laps is most likely the fuel window for these drivers. Everybody doing a great job keeping it clean so far. Current battle on track for 5th place is James Silvers, Zach Rogers, and DJ Weeks Jr. all vying for that top 5 spot. Currently owned by Silvers in the 21 machine. Again, all these drivers came in on the same tire strategy here tonight. But as we are past the halfway mark, what are we going to see from these competitors? Are we going to see a green flag pit stop here today? Or will these drivers get lucky with a caution if they can make it to, we think about 110 is probably the limit of their fuel here today at the most. Oh, look at that. Silvers has a bit of a wiggle. That's going to allow Zach Rogers to get just ever so closer. Ooh, Silvers overcorrects. Get that back right quarter panel into the outside wall. It's going to allow Zach Rogers, the number 5 machine, to slide up the inside. DJ Weeks Jr., he's also going to take a peek at it, see if he can get the run on Silvers. I don't think he is quite yet. But Silvers may be losing the tires here, starting to put too much heat and wearing down those 4 Goodyears that he took on lap 52. So he has 36 laps on a set of tires. All the drivers have fallen off as far as lap times go. From Eckert up front all the way to the back, everybody's at least 1 second off their best lap times of the race. Now these tires will gradually fall off and then they will plateau for a little bit before they drop like an anchor as far as times go. So this definitely has the potential to see who can keep the tires underneath them the best, as Zach Rogers is going to try and a little away at that 1.4 second gap owned by Michael Vandermeer, number 7 machine. But look at this, Silvers and DJ Weeks, they're going to go side by side as well for that 6th place spot. Silver's trying to get the outside line working. Weeks, he's working the inside line. We've got 70 laps left to go in today's feature event, and these guys are putting on a show all across the track. We've seen great racing all night long, even if it's not up front. Everybody doing a fantastic job finding a dance partner and putting on a show. As these two drivers are going to catch lap traffic, that's Keenan Jones, the number 73 machine, just on the left side of your screen. Jones going to yield the high line, trying to allow these drivers through unchallenged, allow them to get back out of the race. But look at that, Silvers has the check up just a little bit to avoid drifting wide into Jones, playing it safe. I mean, no harm, foul. Everybody did what they were supposed to. So that's going to allow DJ Weeks to get a little bit of a breathing room here. Up front, it's still Heller challenging Barkuski, the number 25 machine. About a half second it separates your 2nd and 3rd place driver. We've got Patty Heller joining us today. She's cheering on Eckert, Barkuski, and Heller, I believe. So her 3 favorite drivers are running 1, 2, and 3 here tonight. She's got to be ecstatic, cheering on all of her family and friends. But just like that, perfect timing, the caution will come out. And we do not see a crash report, so it's going to be interesting to see what the word is here. We're going to try and get clarification from race control on what might have happened. Meanwhile, we're going to let you ride on board with Johnny Eckert, your current race leader. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, we are back trying to get things formed up out there. And just in time, we've got Jake Feskin, and he's cheering on his friends and co-teammates for other series. He's cheering on Vandermeet and Silvers out there. Still did not get a report for what the caution was that brought that one out. We did not see anything on live time and scoring that warranted a caution. So we're going to get them formed up. Pace car is coming in. It's going to be Eckert and Barkuski out front, charging hard, as well as Vandermeet, Heller, Rogers, DJ Weeks all in the mix here. As Heller pushing very, very hard, very early in this run in the number 11 machine. Pretty much the entire field came in on lap 94. So we did get a report from race control. There was a single car incident that spun ever so slightly, and it was enough for the iRacing officials to throw a preemptive caution. So all the cautions here are handled by the iRacing built-in service, and race control themselves will only throw manual cautions unless iRacing egregiously misses something. Now that being said, if iRacing calls one maybe a little bit prematurely, there's not much that race control can do, if anything, really. But what a freight train of drivers. We're going to circle a little bit back. If you got David Westergreen, he's going side by side with Casey Carrington. That's the battle for 10th on screen right now. Dylan Brad, the number 1 machine, also watching these guys all night long. These drivers have been unable to get away from each other. Always running side by side, very, very close. This is definitely a game of trust out here today. Who can push the hardest without causing any incidents to yourself or your competition? But look at that. Dylan Bratton sits it on the inside of Westergreen. Is he going to be able to make it stick coming out of turn 4, or is Westergreen going to carry just a little bit more speed in the number 93 machine, the big green mean machine? And they're going to go back to this single file. Kyle Hall, he's working on James Silver's number 17 machine. Another couple of drivers that have been side by side, nose to tail all night long. But the laps are ticking off. About 55 laps remain in tonight's feature event. As you're watching Kyle Hall, he's going side by side with Andrew McGronigal. Really, all these drivers have been running very similar paces all night long, but McGronigal has a moment, gets into the outside wall. That's going to allow Casey Carrington, number 9 machine, to come up and pressure his friend Hall in number 87 machine. Look at the run that Carrington has right now. Does he stay in line and drop to the inside, or maybe he's going to stick right where he's at? As behind him, McGronigal and Westergreen are going to go side by side. Up front, you've got Johnny Eckert with about a 0.5 second advantage in the lead. Behind him, Barkuski and Heller are running nose to tail as well, accompanied by Vandermeet and Rogers. Less than a second separates your top 5 right now. These guys putting on a great show here today. Everybody's been very, very cautious and respectful in our top 10, really our top 15. Haven't seen many issues. We've seen some pretty aggressive passes, but nothing dangerous, I guess is a good way to verb it. Eckert's last time by at 24.52, almost identical to Barkuski, Heller, and Vandermeet, all running very, very close lap times here today. But Eckert does have that about half-second advantage over Barkuski. Might be able to keep a little bit tires underneath him to maybe save for a long run if need be. Now, I don't know if these guys are going to be able to make it all the way to the end on fuel, or if they're going to have to do some serious fuel saving. Or if we might see a late caution. That caution earlier, Race Control kind of agrees here that probably shouldn't have come out, but they caused it the iRacing built in, threw it a little bit prematurely. But what do? That's racing. There's always the human factor to account for. It's like a little bit further back, you're watching David Westergreen trying to edge up into the top 10. He's currently 11th on track in the number 93 machine. He's about half a second back, 4/10 back from Andrew McGronicle, number 16. McGronicle has a moment going into turn 3, drifts wide, loses a whole lot of speed. That's going to allow Westergreen to try and catch up here. But man, look at the run McGronicle had on the back stretch there. There might be something to it. Maybe diamonding the corners to try and get the biggest run you possibly can out of the corner. But Westergreen's going to be looking hard for that top 10. It's just within distance in front of him. Up front, it's still Johnny Eckert. He's got about a 0.6 advantage over second place Brandon Barkuski. And what are we going to see? Is Eckert, he's still about a half second ahead. His last time by 24.76 compared to Barkuski's 24.78. So everybody's running almost identical paces here, but just too big of a gap to make anything happen. But when are we going to see the fuel saving come from these drivers? Are we going to see anybody try and stretch it to the end here? Or are we expecting a final green flag pit stop? It's going to be very interesting to see what develops. As Zach Rogers, he's trying to pressure Michael Vandermeer, the number 7. In front of Vandermeer, you've also got Heller. So a lot of fast guys still bunched up here as DJ Weeks Jr. currently running the number 97 to 6th on track. He can see a top 5 just ahead of him. Again, all of these guys are also chasing the team championship points as well. So even a finishing a little bit higher this week doesn't help you out. You can still help out your team. You're on board with Zach Rogers. That is who's breathing down the back bumper of Michael Vandermeer's number 7 machine. Ahead of Vandermeer just by a few tenths of a second. You've got Christopher Heller as well, the number 11. So everybody running very, very close here, but I don't think I see anybody try and push too early in this run, especially if fuel saving becomes a factor. These guys are pretty smart guys. They can do the math relatively quickly and see, oh no, we're not going to have enough to make it to the end. So it's going to be interesting to see what all the drivers end up doing. Who's going to put down a little bit faster lap now for track position and kind of gamble on a caution later on. Now, if we do have any cautions, this should be the final pit stop of the night. If they do have another caution, they will take under yellow. But I just don't know, are we going to see our drivers able to make it till the end on fuel? They've got 41 laps remaining. The longest pit stops we saw were about 60 laps. So with all these guys coming on a lap of 90 at 194, that should put them about 6 laps short, assuming that's the latest they can stay out. Up ahead, you've got your lead pack of cars working around lap traffic. I believe that's going to be Ryan Perkins' number 8 machine. Now Vandermeer's going to look to the inside. Perkins is going to hold the outside, allowing these faster drivers to come through. But this is still a risky position for everybody, because if you take that inside line, your car wants to naturally drift back towards the outside wall. carrying as much speed as you possibly can. But everyone able to get through that nice and clean, no worries. Now they're going to get around the number 73 machine of Keenan Jones. DJ Weeks Jr., he's looking to try and get around Zach Rogers' number 5 machine. Last time by, he was only he's about 0.13 seconds faster than Rogers, as Rogers kind of lost the gamble there, not able to get around lap traffic just quite as clean, having to slow down his lap just a tiny bit. But Rogers is also able to pick up the draft from Vandermeer right in front of number 7 machine, so it's going to be interesting to see how this affects, or if the drivers work together at all in this final stint to hopefully catch up to the top 3 drivers of Eckert, Barkowski, and Heller, who are doing a fantastic job out here today. All these drivers doing a fantastic job. Lap traffic once again come into play for this 6th place pack, or 4th place pack I should say. It's led by Vandermeer in 4th, Rogers in 5th, and DJ Weeks in 6th. As they are going to shimmy around number 65 of John Simpson Jr. But that's a great example. Look how much more speed Vandermeer was able to carry using that preferred line, allowing the race car to kind of drift up the racetrack coming out of the corner, while Zach Rogers, DJ Weeks Jr. were not able to do that, having to kind of stay pinned down low to get through traffic. But the draft very effective, allowing Rogers and DJ Weeks Jr. to catch back up in this 3-car pack of 4th place drivers. They're about 1 second back from 3rd place Christopher Heller, with 33 laps left to go and possibly one final pit stop. It's going to be interesting to see how things shake up here, because now Barkowski, he's getting a little bit closer to Johnny Eckert up front. It is now a 0.3 second gap between Eckert and Barkowski. Now I wonder if Eckert was trying to fuel save a little bit in the hopes to make it to the end. But that is going to be a whole lot of time to try and save to maintain your fuel and make it all the way those extra 5 or 6 laps. We've got 31 laps remaining, as Eckert has once again extended that gap to about 0.4 seconds. But Barkowski really driving the wheels off that number 25 machine. It's amazing how much lifting these drivers are having to do to get the car settled in here at Iowa. Let's look at this battle. It's going to be Vandermeer still leading Zach Rogers and DJ Weeks Jr. Everybody trying to get through traffic together. That's the 00 machine of Craig Martin, the Canadian, going a lap down. But the laps are ticking off. When are we going to see a pit stop, or are all these guys hoping for a caution at this point? As what happened there? Did Barkowski have a bit of a moment? Barkowski's still doing a great job, just kind of hanging in line here and making it look relatively easy. Christopher Heller in 3rd. He's got about a 1 second gap over Vandermeer and Rogers as it stands, so He's looking all right to maybe fend him off, but that 3-car pack is going to be going nose to tail, punching through air as a team, even though they are on different teams, just doing their best to try and catch up to the top 3 drivers. Now, if we see a final pit stop, this could really shake things up. We've got Grace Neri out there in the grandstands. She's cheering on the world-famous Andrew Neri in the 654 machine. Neri currently running 22nd on track. He's up 3 spots from where he started tonight. So not having the worst of evenings in the 654. Keenan Jones comes into pit lane a little bit early, gets back out on track. When are we going to see Eckert, Barkuski, and Heller come in, or are they going to be able to make it another 26 laps here at Iowa? I would have to imagine they're going to be looking low on fuel in the next 10 laps or so. I would say they have to pit. But time will tell. A pit stop can really shake things up. We've seen races decided with speeding penalties and unsafe pit entries before. It's going to be a tough spot for all these drivers wanting to come in and get their pit stop done as quickly as they can. Who's going to take 4 tires? Who's going to go for a 2-tire stop and just a little bit of fuel? Or who's going to go for just enough fuel to make it till the end? As Heller, he's got a lot of traffic to work with. That's Andrew Neri, 654 machine. Gets down low, trying to let the number 11, your 3rd place driver on track, through nice and clean. Barkuski, he's watching Eckert only 0.4 seconds in front of him. As Andrew Neri, Ryan Perkins both come into pit lane together with 24 laps left to go. Eckert's last time by a 25.25 compared to Barkuski with a 25.26, and Heller also clicking off a 25.26. Actually running all the way back, Vandermeer with a 25.27, Rogers in 5th place with a 25.25, DJ Weeks Jr. in 6th with a 25.26. So everybody in the top 6 running almost identical lap times this late into their run. With tires this worn out, it is very, very tough and frustrating for these drivers to get up there and try and make something happen. Bruce Pearson has a big off-track moment, but the caution does not fly here at Iowa. We're going to keep it green for a little while longer. As you can see, some spectacular slide marks coming out of turn 4 through the infield. That was like Devin Scroggins, number 66, the Yoo-Hoo-backed race car, going a lap down. We've got 18 drivers still on the lead lap here as Scroggins gets to the outside wall, trying to avoid getting in the way of the lead lap cars. It is 20 laps left to go here today, and everybody's doing a fantastic job. $19 laps remaining. Eckert still holds a 0.45 second advantage to Brandon Barkuski. Behind Barkuski, you've got Christopher Heller, Michael Vandermeer, Zach Rogers, your top 5. Are we going to see a final pit stop to decide things here today? And the caution might come out here. I'm not quite sure. Ryan Perkins involved in a big incident, leaving pit lane. If he's able to keep it off of the race line and get that car pointed the right direction, we will stay green. And it looks like it's going to stay green for just a little while longer here. 18 laps left to go. Thankfully, no caution here. We'll try and grab a replay here in a moment, but are we going to see a final pit stop from our competitors? We're expecting the fuel window to close in about 7 laps for these guys. Or do these drivers know something we don't know, with the possibility to make it all the way to the end? What is going to happen here at Iowa? I am at the edge of my seat. Are we going to see drivers try and stretch it out all the way to the end, or is we going to see a forced green flag pit stop from all of these guys? Their first one possibly for the night. We've got some great racing all across the racetrack still. It's 15 laps left to go. You've got Dylan Breton trying to catch up to Kyle Hall. He just got around James Silvers to take that 11th place spot, but Breton is looking hard for that top 10 finish here tonight. Or are we going to see things shake up in the top three as less than a second separates first place Eckert, second place Barkuski, or third place Heller? It's 14 laps left to go. What is going to happen here today is all these guys are really having to cut through traffic, as Heller is going to follow behind Pearson for just a little bit in the number 22 machine to use his draft to try and slingshot himself back up to Barkuski. This late in the run, none of these drivers have a whole lot of tires underneath them to really do anything crazy to try and make some big pushes. "12 laps left to go." What's going to happen is Eckert has a whole lot of lapped cars in front of him that have the potential to accidentally mess up this race and throw a wrench in the dominant run of Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine. And that is a massive field of lapped cars right in front of Eckert, as the lap track is going to go too wide just in front of him on the bottom right hand of your screen. They should be the top left next time he comes around. You can see just how busy this racetrack is, as everybody out there is still racing for position, because in front of Eckert they're too wide and 2 rows deep. He's going to come around the number 15 machine. Able to get through nice and clean. Oh, your second place Barkuski has a little bit of a moment there, able to hold on to it, but this could possibly slow down Eckert drastically, as in front of them they're going 3 wide. Everybody's battling for position. Where is Eckert going to be able to find a hole to get through? He is not going to lift for any reason necessary. Ryan Perkins, number 8 machine, he goes very high to try and get out of the way. Eckert diving down the inside line, trying to catch up. There's smoke all across the raceway as he's trying to get around Carolus Steele, number 1 machine. Now, if Eckert can get through lap traffic better than Barkuski or better than Heller, he's looking very good here to bring it home uncontested. As Barkuski charging hard in the number 25 machine. He's got 8 laps left to go, trying to get through traffic as quickly as he possibly can to whittle away at that 0.6 second gap that Eckert currently holds. But now Eckert has some clean racetrack, so if he has any tires left, he's going to absolutely dig as deep as he possibly can. And Barkuski just not able to get through lap traffic here as quickly as he wants. Christopher Heller is starting to catch up a little bit as well. 7 laps left to go. We're guessing at this point all these guys are going to be able to make it on fuel. That will be quite the green flag run for these guys. All the competitors came in around lap 94. We're on lap 100 and we're about to start lap 154. Barkuski having quite the time getting through traffic. It's going to allow Christopher Heller to get right on the back of the number 25 machine. All these other drivers on track are also battling for position, but it is 5 laps left to go. The time is now, if Barkuski, who now finds himself 1.4 seconds back from Eckert, to make anything happen, just not winning the lottery here, dealing with traffic. And that's allowed Christopher Heller, the number 11 machine, to catch rapidly back up to Barkuski and possibly battle for that second place spot. But it's 4 laps left to go. What are we going to see? Now Barkowski's whittled down that gap to about 1.1 seconds, so he gained about 3/10 that last time by. As now Eckert will have to contend with the traffic, but with 3 laps left to go, that is a long time to make up any sort of ground. He'd have to be 3/10 of a lap faster than Eckert for the remaining laps just to break even and be with the current race leader. But it'll be 2 laps left to go as Eckert crosses the start and finish line. And you can't forget about Christopher Heller, the number 11 machine, currently running 3rd on track. He can see 2nd place in his sights. But is there enough laps and tires for anyone to make anything happen? White flag will fly as Barkowski. He's getting around Shane Gentry, the number 26 machine, who finds himself not on the lead lap. Heller still watching. He's about 4/10 of a second back. I don't think you can see the number 11 machine have enough time to do anything here. The tires are just so worn for all these competitors as they've put about 70 laps on a set of tires. The checker flag will fly for Johnny Eckert, the number 90 machine, who will get the race win here, followed by Barkowski and Heller bringing home 2nd and 3rd. A great race from all of our competitors here tonight. We're going to try and get our drivers up into the podium booth to get ready for their interviews. But right now it's Johnny Eckert making it another win out here at Iowa in the number 90 machine, and he's going to burn it down. And he's going to be accompanied by his teammate David Westergren, the number 93 machine. They're going to go nose to nose and light up the rear tires. Number 90, number 93 machine celebrating a good team finish. Westergren was able to finish 8th here tonight. So we're waiting on Christopher Heller. There he is, joining us in the waiting room. And we're going to try and get these competitors up here now for us. Up first, we got Christopher Heller, the number 11 machine, bringing home 3rd after a long night for all of you guys. Now, Chris, how did it go from your point of view here today?
Man, it was tough. It felt like me, Brandon, and Johnny were just all literally the same speed. Like we would all run about the same lap every single lap, and it was tough to catch them. It was just one of those weird races where it was just one would run faster one lap, and then the other would run faster the next lap. So we were just all like evenly matched there.
Now, Christopher, towards the end of that very long 70-lap run, how did the car react with those worn tires? Was it much tighter than it had been all night, or how was it handling?
So it got tighter like in about the middle of the corner, and then it was still had that like little bit of wheel spin off, but it was like tight mid corner and then loose off
Well,
pretty much most of the night.
you did good out there. We could definitely see the lap time start to reflect that, but you're right. The top 3, really the top 5 drivers were kind of running identical lap times. What do you think you could have done differently, or could you have done anything differently to maybe battle Barkowski a little bit more for 2nd place?
I really couldn't do anything different. I let him go to see if maybe he could catch Johnny because he's my teammate, and at this point Johnny has the championship locked up, so I didn't really care if I finished 2nd or 3rd. I just wanted to try to give my teammate an opportunity to try to pass Johnny because I tried passing him at the beginning of the race and I wasn't able to do it. So
Well,
Yeah.
great sportsmanship as always, Christopher, on and off the track. It's always a pleasure seeing you drive. You've been getting faster all season. Now, before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to that may be supporting you behind the scenes?
Obviously my teammate Brandon Burkowski, my parents, you guys for the broadcast, and the entire league as a whole.
Well, great job, my friend. Hope to see you do well next week as well, and always a pleasure having you up here.
Yep, thank you.
That was third place, Christopher Heller. Now we've got Brandon Barkuski bringing home the second spot on the podium, number 25 machine. Brandon, how did it go from your point of view here today?
Just not enough there at the end. Johnny was really quick and definitely a well-deserved win on his part. I don't, I was kind of like not on his bumper, about a car length back, maybe that whole last run. Maybe if I didn't get kind of caught up in that weird mess where we were guys racing in the back of the field, were running side by side. Maybe I would have kept up with Johnny, but I don't know if I even would have passed him. So that was fun. That was a blast for sure. I love this track. It's one of my favorites. And again, this league only a few cautions. I mean, green flag, green flag, green flag. So this league is a joy to race in every Friday night for
Yeah,
sure.
it seems like the racing keeps getting cleaner and cleaner as everybody gets used to the cars and both their competitors knowing who they can kind of get away with a little bit more aggressive driving and who they need to play it safe with tonight. It looked like you and Heller were working very well trying to get up front. Were you guys communicating as a team, maybe trying to use that draft to catch up to Eckert, or was it just kind of every man for himself here tonight?
Yeah, no, I feel like I helped Heller with one and two, turns one and two, entering a little wider, and then Heller actually was telling me enter three and four a little bit shallower, and that definitely helped me. So we were joking the whole race. If we could have combined our turns, we probably would have beaten Johnny by a second. But unfortunately, you gotta race with what you got, and Johnny was the man tonight, so, as he's been pretty much all season. So we're gonna come back next week, and I'm gonna put some pressure on Heller. I think he's really darn good at Pocono. I've seen him win there before. I think he's gonna put a stomping on next week. I'm telling you.
Well, looking forward to seeing what the team can develop leading up to next week. Now, Brandon, before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to? Friends, family, sponsors that may be helping you out to go so fast out here.
Yeah, 2511 Racing. Everybody there, they're awesome. Nathan Nicholson, Nick Martin, Phil Bedford, Chris Heller, Jordan Gonzalez, Matt Daniels, Cole Bradley. Every single one of those guys, they're awesome dudes, and we're gonna keep coming back here and try to get some more victories. 2511's only got one in this series. We got to make that more.
Well, great job, Brandon. Hope to see you do well in the future, man. And always a pleasure talking to you.
Yep. Take it easy. Have a good night.
And now we've got jumping Johnny Eckert and the number 90 machine bringing it home in the top spot. Johnny, it looked like they were getting closer and closer, but you had it there at the end. How'd it go from your point of view out there today?
I felt pretty comfortable for a while because this was in the first half of the race. I felt like, all right, we're just gonna monitor what's going on and maintain. But the second half of the race is when everything got super exciting. But those last 20 laps, I honestly, Barkuski was catching me, and he was gaining just a little bit every lap, and I was struggling quite a bit. Like the right front was starting to fall off the car, so I knew that I had to try something different, and I adjusted brake bias. I changed my line. I was trying to find every little thing, but he was still slowly gaining on me. And then the deciding factor really was the lap traffic at the end. I caught him, and I thought I was going to be the one that got stuck, but unfortunately for Brandon, but luckily for me, um, I got through him pretty quick, and then Brandon got caught up. But I think I uh, I was on the edge of my seat until the end of the race. That's for sure. There was no it wasn't a free win
Yeah, we
for
always talk
sure.
about it's kind of a gentleman's agreement for the lap cars to get out of the way of the lead cars when they have the opportunity. It seemed like pretty much all night everybody raced very respectfully and gave each other plenty of room. And like you said, you came down to the last few laps and you've got cars in front of you battling for position. So how nerve-wracking is it as one of the lead lap cars, or in your case, the race leader, trying to navigate through traffic out there?
Yeah, I mean, normally it would be okay if you're going through one or two cars, but the way it went tonight, like it seemed like there were clusters of cars that you got up to, and specifically that last big cluster, I don't exactly know what positions everybody was in, but I knew that there were at least two cars that were racing each other, and that's why they were side by side. But the um when you caught that at the end of the race, it's like you understand that they have to do their thing, but you also have to realize that there are there there I don't want to say bigger duels, but there's more important spots on the line. I the lap traffic was relatively respectful all night, and it was a pleasure. There were a couple cars that were just sketchy from my point of view, and we were talking about it in the waiting room, and it was the same thing for the 2511 guys. There were a couple cars that just created fear, and this track just helps that because it is pretty much single groove. I mean, you can run all around in 3 and 4, but 1 and 2, you run off the bottom, you hit the bumps, and you hit a bump or two in the right way, it's gonna send you straight to the wall. So uh, the lap cars, it seemed like, had to be really committed to giving up time or giving up position, and the 19 was on the radio like every time, just like, I'm gonna stay high, I'm gonna let you guys go. Second place, I'm letting you go. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna stay as far out of the way as possible. And it was pretty. I appreciated that. That's especially at a track like this where it is so single groove and so difficult. But thankfully we got lucky. I think the last lap car that I passed, someone hit the wall coming out of turn 4 with like 2 to go, right on my outside. I'm like, uh-oh. I clenched a little bit. I got a little bit scared, but there's a lot of. I'm relieved because, like I said before, Brandon was catching me, and I felt like that if he got to my bumper, like, I would have either been moved or it just would have kind of fallen apart because my right front was just gone.
Yeah, it seemed kind of be the story for everybody, both the front right being totally smoked and everybody being a little bit apprehensive trying to cut through traffic that was also batting for their own spot. But you made it look good. We're looking forward to see you up here again. Hopefully next week. I think we're going to Pocono. Now, John, before I let you sign off, who'd you like to give a shout-out to? Friends, family, sponsors. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you for putting on these broadcasts. I'm sure tonight was full of interesting drama throughout the field because it seemed like there was something going on every lap somewhere. Be it lap traffic or cars side by side. Even the one caution was an odd one, but iRacing decided to throw it for that one. But yeah, thank you for putting on the broadcast. I appreciate the admins for all they do because they are constantly working to put on a great race. And 160 laps at Iowa and only having I think just under 20 laps of cautions is pretty incredible. So field did a fantastic job tonight, and yeah, I want to thank them for having this great setup, and I want to thank my teammates DJ Weeks and David Westergreen. Oh man, I'm spent, but I appreciate them. I mean, DJ was kind of coaching me what to do here because I come from a different background when it comes to Iowa, and I was running it wrong, and he gave me a bit of a rundown of what he did last time he was here, and it really came to my benefit again. So I appreciate them, and yeah, we're looking forward to Pocono. I mean, I'm not a fan of Pocono. It's not one of my favorite tracks, and the new track I've struggled at in the past. So, but the way it's been going, I can't necessarily say that I'm not gonna be competitive. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm a little apprehensive about next week. That's for sure.
Well, great time as always, Johnny. Hope to see you do well, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you up here at Victory Lane or at Pocono, the Tricky Triangle.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Always a pleasure, sir. So that is going to do it here for the Shore Lunch 225, the All-American ARCA Series. If you're watching along for the first time and want to get on the action, check them out, facebook.com/All-American ARCA Series. On behalf of All-American ARCA and Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, again, my name's James East. Thanking you all so much for everybody that tunes in and makes these broadcasts so much fun. We see everybody that likes our channel, or likes the videos, I should say, and subscribe to the channel so they don't miss their next race with their favorite racer. We'll see you guys same time, same place next week as the All-American ARCA Series goes to Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Have a great night, everyone.